welcome back to my channel. My name's Haley. If you're new here, I'm an incoming D1 at University of Michigan School of Dentistry, and I frequently get asked why dentistry, what made me settle on dentistry, or what's a good angle, because this also is the prompt of the personal statement. I have a video about the personal statement that'll be in a card here, and then I'm going to link it below, and I'll also link all of the other videos that I have about the DAT, applying, choosing which schools to apply to, pretty much anything you can think of. I probably already made a video about it, but I haven't made a video specifically dedicated to why I chose dentistry and why I think dentistry is an amazing profession and why it might fit for you, or I think it can fit for a lot of people. So that's what we're going to be covering in this video. So for starters, if you don't know me, and even if you've seen a couple of my videos, you might not know, but just like background, I guess, on my education and my perception on like jobs and stuff growing up. So I think I always knew I wanted a job that would allow me to be financially stable and independent and everything, but most careers pay reasonably well enough for you to have a good life if you're smart with your finances. So that box can pretty much be checked with most things that I was interested in. I always really enjoyed my science classes growing up, and my art classes especially. I also liked our like computer special, and then gym. Who doesn't like gym? But I was really active in like sports and stuff growing up, and I really liked being in teams and different like after school clubs, all that kind of stuff. So, just knowing that I liked science and was like good at school, very relative term, but I always was someone like more top of my class grades wise, except for math. Did not do well in math. I needed like math tutors outside of school because math never clicked. All my other classes I was really successful in. So since I wasn't great in math, you can push like engineering off the table, accounting, finance, anything that requires a lot of numbers was a no-go for me and did not interest me anyways. So no like physics or anything for me. But I was always really into helping people, which is the generic answer for dentistry. Don't worry, I'm going to get much more in-depth here and more specific to myself. But I was initially interested in something in medicine. So I was just kind of Googling. I didn't really feel like I needed to have a set career picked out until like mid-high school, once I started looking at colleges, because you want to go to a college that has a good major and program for whatever you want to do for a job, obviously. So I needed to figure out what job I wanted, because a good business college might not be a good pre-med college, etc. So after that, I did a lot of research in high school to figure out like what career I would want to do. People tell me that since I was little, I said I either wanted to be a pediatrician or a pediatric dentist. So that's what little Haley said, and that was what she kept in her mind in high school as well. So I was Googling all about pediatrician, like how much school, what's the salary, like how long you're going to be in debt, basically. Same with dentistry. And the main deciding factor at the very beginning for why I started looking into dentistry, not why I'm choosing dentistry, but why I wanted to explore it, was because it was less school than becoming a physician, and there was a lot more flexibility job-wise, and you made more money. So I was like, sounds cool, let's go see if I like it, because I wasn't gonna pick it and set my mind on it if I didn't know if I liked it. So then I went and shadowed my general dentist that I went to since I was little, and I shadowed him for a few weeks in high school, and I really, really liked it. It's hard to describe it, but I definitely got a little like ting inside me, like a little, oh, like this is so cool, because when you're a patient, you're not really thinking about what's happening. At least I don't. I just like let them do their thing and I leave. But to see it kind of up close, because you don't want to be right in the patient's face when you're shadowing, but to see it was so cool, and just like realizing the work and like artistry and skill that actually goes in to dentistry. I think you don't think about it unless you're actually thinking about it as a profession and you being the dentist. I don't think you ever really think about all the different aspects of dentistry that there are. I'm gonna get into that, I promise. I know I said I'm gonna get more in depth, but so that's basically the background. That's how I found dentistry initially. I loved that first shadowing experience, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll with this, see where it goes. And essentially everything down the road since then up until now. So the rest of high school and all of college has just further solidified that like this is what I want to do. So now we're going to get into a little bit about my personal statement, just a tiny bit, because this is the prompt. So I want to read a little bit from it for you guys just so you can get an idea of like what I talked about in my personal statement, because a lot of the stuff I'm going to tell you later I didn't necessarily say to the dental schools and to admissions as to why I want to be a dentist, just because it wasn't cohesive and a clear theme. But yeah, after I talk about the personal statement, then I'm just going to go into more situational and my personal life goals and how I think dentistry will fit so well into that. But quickly, we're just going to read a couple excerpts from my personal statement so you can get a feel for how I took my own interest in dentistry, which was hands-on, artistry, science, interacting with people, helping people, all very basic things, and tried to make them a little bit more unique. So I am reading off my laptop down here if I'm looking down, but I'm going to read you guys the intro and then the conclusion paragraph, because I think that most eloquently explains my reasoning, and then the middle is more drawing on specific experiences that give examples to what these two paragraphs are saying. So, growing up, I always looked forward to bedtime. I would beg my mother to come up with mysteries for me to solve each night. The satisfaction of helping these fictional characters solve their puzzles motivated me to seek out solutions to mysteries in my daily life. Whether it was putting together a piece of furniture from IKEA for my sister or fabricating a makeshift fort, I always loved combining creativity and analytical thinking to solve problems. My fascination with solving mysteries continued to grow during my middle school science courses as I learned about evolution and the complexity of the human body. At this point, I knew that a career in healthcare would allow me to play a first-hand role in problem solving every day. By working directly with patients, I hope to discover the needs of the community around me and work towards innovative solutions. So I think that really kind of sums up my take on it, and then I'm going to read you guys just the concluding sentence or two. Dentistry is the best outlet for me to combine my analytical thinking, creative problem solving, and love for teaching, all while forming meaningful relationships with my patients by providing quality dental care to improve their overall health. I cannot think of a career that would put a bigger smile on the face of my younger self than dentistry. That is some stuff from my personal statement that I think nicely worded sums up why I want to be a dentist, but I am going to just kind of talk to you guys about a few other points I had in mind that I wanted to get across about why I think dentistry is so great, and especially so great for me. So one thing I didn't touch on before that I've also learned in college that I love, again, like solidifying that I want to do dentistry. I really love teaching. I've been a mentor through this program at Michigan State for 3 out of my 4 years, like since sophomore year, and it's been the best. And also in my classes, I really like teaching my peers the material. It helps me show like I know the material well enough to teach it. That means like I really know it. But in dentistry, you're educating your patients on oral health. You're not just doing a treatment and sending them on their way, hopefully. So that's something I really look forward to, just as a little side note. But now I want to talk about specifically why I think dentistry is going to fit really well into my overall life goals. This kind of I've learned more recently with quarantine and everything, that with like a lot of dentists not being able to practice for a while and just now getting back into it and everything, like your career should be something ideally that you enjoy, possibly even love, which I think I will love dentistry, but it shouldn't be like your whole identity or all that you are. Like it can be part of your identity, but it shouldn't be your everything. So I have a lot of goals and ways I see myself in the future beyond dentistry, but I think dentistry weaves really well into the type of person that I want to be in 10, 15, 20 years, and also like my family life, especially someday. Dentistry offers a lot of flexibility, which is so important to me because, and I think to everyone, because you can grow at whatever pace you want in the field. You could work in a more corporate setting, go to work, do your work and leave. Nothing to worry about when you're home. You're not running a business. You could be an associate at a practice, similar thing. You could buy a practice and run a practice and have a bunch of extra work outside of the actual dentistry. So like you can grow and like morph it and change roles as much as you want to like fit whatever's going on in your own life, whether like you're having kids or you need to make more money for your family at this stage, so you need to amp up how many patients you're seeing or take on an additional role on the weekend, something like that. Like it's so flexible, which I think is ideal for a job because it gives you a lot of chance to just keep yourself stimulated, for one. Like, you're never gonna get bored, and if you are bored, you're not seeking out new opportunities. So I think that's awesome. And the next thing I had on my phone was about financial independence, and I already kind of talked to you guys about that, but it's a very well-paying career, obviously, and if I needed to provide for myself and like children on my own, I totally could. So that's always something important to me. So kind of talking about that vision that I have for my future. So I'd like to live somewhere where the community knows each other pretty well, and I think being a dentist in that community like molds into everything that I want very well. Like, as a person, I want to be really involved in my kids' school, whether that's as a coach, as a youth group leader, as both, just as like an active parent. And I think that getting to know people through those activities, through the church, through the school, through sports teams, other activities, I'll start to know the community really well, but then I'll also be seeing them as their dentist and already have kind of a foundation there, have that trust, have that relationship, and that's just another opportunity to educate, like I said. And if they're more trusting of you, they're going to be more likely and more receptive to what you're trying to tell them about bettering their oral health and everything. So I just think that the role of being deeply involved in my community works really well as a dentist and outside of work. And then another totally different topic, but also I've also learned through YouTube and podcasting and just my minor, which is entrepreneurship, if you didn't know that, in college, that I love like marketing and media growth and watching a company get bigger through marketing. So having a practice in a business one day is really exciting for me and appealing. And there's so many, like, I've seen so many dentists that do that really well, but then also dentists that like outsource and hire other people to do that. So it's just so flexible is what I keep saying. Like, you can do what you want to do when you want to do it, within reason, obviously. But if there's a point in my life where I don't have the time or the energy or the skills to do the marketing and own a practice and all this kind of stuff, then I won't do it then, or I'll outsource. But if I am at a point in my life, my kids are older and I'm getting bored, I can take on a new business venture with my practice. I can invest in new CE courses to learn a new skill, to bring to my patients, to bring a new technology to my office, make that investment, and then work on getting a return for that investment. So there's just like so much like business and like constantly learning, like I said with the CE courses, like you're never ever gonna get bored, and it's so flexible. Like, any person that's interested in the actual dental work, like, you have to like what you're doing day to day, but like there's so many ways you can take it. Like, you can own a practice, like I said, you can do corporate dentistry, you can do organized dentistry and work more in like legislature. There's some dentists that like obviously work in practice sometimes, but they also like go around the country, like public speaking. You can like write books. Like, there's so much you can do, and I feel like that's just so exciting to me, like endless opportunities basically. So I feel like there's always something new to learn and like ways to improve yourself and ways to improve your skills. That just makes dentistry so cool. Like, you are not boxed in by any means, and like the repetitiveness of doing certain procedures to me is like something that I'll enjoy and be like kind of calming. But then if I want to add something new in, I can do that. You know what I mean? So that's like the main reason I think dentistry is so cool. I guess you can get from all of this like the few interests of mine of why I was choosing dentistry, and then also just the field in general. I feel like everyone is so encouraging and supportive and looking to help each other, but also very goal-oriented and ambitious and looking to be successful. And like, that's the kind of people I want to be surrounded by, and that's why I'm really excited to be like entering into this field and gaining mentors and learning more and growing as a person and also as a hopefully dentist one day once I get through dental school. So I know this is a little bit jumbled, but I hope it was interesting to you guys, and I hope if you're on the fence between like medicine or dentistry or anything, I hope that this will either solidify your interest in dentistry or make you realize that all these things I'm describing are just not you and you should go another way. So I do hope this helped you guys, and I hope it was interesting. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.